So within the story of Marcus Morris being arrested at the Fort Lauderdale International Airport while with his family over gambling debts, it exposed quite a few things. First being that the casinos definitely flex their powers, showing that they have overreach that can cross multiple jurisdictions. Second, within the media and their rush to be the first one to put out a story, there is no fact checking. It was reported by multiple outlets that he ran a quote-unquote scheme, the MGM and the Win to be exact, and the details went as far as to saying that he wrote multiple bad checks, which turned out not to be true. The third thing that we have found out that a lot of you fellas who mess with the casino should know is that they could issue out a warrant for your arrest if you owe them as low as $1,200, which is insane. We're talking about an NBA player who's played 13 seasons and who's netted over $100 million. So there's a lot of dynamics here at play. So in this segment, we're going to hear directly from Marcus Morris and his brother as they spoke on the situation. And it's a beautiful thing that the media landscape right now, the way it's organized, players have outlets to actually verify which information is true and which is not. So as I said, we're going to hear directly from the Morris brothers, and we'll also get insight from two former NBA players on exactly how it is to be in debt with the casinos. What are the dynamics here at play? How bone crushing could it be to pay back those markers, aka loans, to the casinos? Las Vegas historically has been a town that has been ran by the mob over 60 years ago. That town has always originated that way, very similar to the skylines of Miami being built up in the 1980s from cocaine money. So Marcus Morris, as well as his brother, spoke on the dynamics that took place. And keep in mind, these guys are family men. They built themselves up to get into the NBA with a lot of hard work and dedication, just for the media to rush and put out false information out there. You guys check it out, and every once in a while, I'll check in.
Just for the guys that don't know, and I'm gonna make this clear, and I'm gonna say it once or twice, and I'm gonna keep it at that. I've never physically wrote a check with my name from my bank account to anybody.
Right.
Forget the casinos.
Right.
To anybody. I've never done that. You know what I mean?
Right.
We've always dealt with wire. We always, whatever it is, maybe you don't even have to go. Yeah, like we don't have to. You know what I mean? And again, and I don't want to look at it like I'm upset. I'm not upset. Vegas did what they did. What I'm upset about is that, you know, my mindset on how this really should have been, right? Like just knowing how long we've been playing in Vegas, how many times we took markers out, how many times we repaid those markers, and it never just dawned on me that, or even in the fine print that you can possibly be arrested
for that type of shit.
You know, for that type of thing, and I think, and that's the part where I want to teach, like, or even talk to, you know, the younger athletes, the younger people in the world, the older athletes, the guys that's around our age, is that in that fine print, when you do receive a marker from casinos, if it's up to $1,200 and you don't pay it when you don't pay it whenever it says you're supposed to pay, even if it's a day late, they can't issue a warrant. Technically, nowhere else they could do that. Vegas can technically issue you a warrant for your arrest, right? So I just want to make that clear that I physically never ever wrote a check with my name on it from my account to a casino in exchange for money to be able to do what I want to do with it, or go somewhere with the money, right? Like when you get a marker, and this might go over some people's head because everybody's don't gamble. Everybody don't gamble at a certain level, right? So you might not even understand what I'm even saying, right? Like, but when you receive a marker, that's money to gamble at the casinos, not money to go cash in to put in your pocket to do anything else you want to do with it. Right. So if I'm gambling in there, right? And then, you know, it was talked about like it was multiple casinos. We've gambled at 2 casinos the entire time we've ever been there. So like just make that clear. I'm not hopping from casino to casino, taking out markets like this.
Gambleraholics.
This is not that. And you might think, you know, whatever it is. I'm not asking, or again, I'm not apologizing. I'm telling you exactly what happened, and I enjoyed myself. And this is something that we do every year. And you know, if I would have 1 second thought to myself like I can actually be locked up, I would have never done. I would have never even like. We going to the bank. I'm gonna go to the bank and just bring all cash if I'm gonna implement myself of fucking with my character first and foremost, and like.
Even though these guys are high-profile NBA players, we still have to humanize them, because at the end of the day, that title the media put on them of being a rich guy who writes bad checks is a very crazy position to be in when you're a multi-millionaire. Let's say he's going out to buy a car, or he's sending his kids to maybe a private school, or just think about his day-to-day, the places that he goes to. These are high net worth individuals, and just to have that stigma on you, a lot of places are not going to want to fuck with him. But as Marcus Morris continues to tell his side of the story, he's going to reveal that even though he's known in the NBA circles as being a tough guy, they have never been processed through the system nor been arrested. They have clean records. It's almost as if the aura that made him a lot of money on the court and is now coming back around and hurting him in his real life. That's the beautiful thing about them having their own platform. They can get their story straight to the audience, but unfortunately, the same national media that threw up the quick story and the quick headlines, they're not going to follow up with this response.
Putting me in jail in front of my family. Right. That's the part where I felt like it hurt the most, man. Right. So just like going forward while you know, we're talking about it, like you said, just giving, you know, other athletes or other significant people that, like, you know, that's on this level that gamble sometimes, like, or just like to, you know, sign papers or whatever it is make sure, you know, however old you are, just make sure you read and everything, right? Make sure you know exactly what's going on, because this was a situation where obviously you didn't know that this can possibly happen, right? Yeah, for sure. It doesn't even make sense. I wouldn't even, to work as hard as we work to get to this point that we at now, I would never put myself in a position and still go back there. That's the crazy part. We end up in Vegas and continue to gamble. That's the funny part. We was in Vegas 2 weeks ago. Right. Like or at Summer League, I would have expected. Right. If it was just to that extreme. Right. Like, so you know how this shit transpired. I mean, we sitting at the Burger King ordering food for the kids. You get the call like ain't feeding. Why you feeding your kids Burger King? We cracking up. We having a ain't that crazy to feed your kid? I'm like, so we cracking up, laughing. We go sit down. I look up. There's 10 big ass cops with big ass guns and big ass vests. They like looking at us. I'm like, hold up, ain't no fucking way you looking over here. Like, what?
Once again, look at the level of aggression, and the Vegas casinos could do this over as little as $1,200. We're talking about a multi-millionaire that's with his family, and they're coming up to him with this level of hostility. That's insane. I can only imagine. Once again, we got to humanize these guys, because this side of the story was never reported. It definitely would have read a lot different in the headlines.
What can possibly be happening at this point? To have all this going on right now. If I'm them, I'm turning around. I see 6 kids right here. I see my mom sitting right here. Family, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, possibly, I don't know what these dudes coming over here talking about. They say whatever they say, you know what I mean, and they walk me over, you know, and I'm telling y'all, go ahead, I handle whatever it is. It can't be crazy. It can't be nothing. Like, my hands clean. Like, what we talking about? You know what I'm saying? So I walk over. Motherfuckers put me in handcuffs and shackles.
Now look at that. This is an NBA guy, multi-millionaire. He's with his kids. He said that there was about 6 kids around with his wife, his mother, his whole family. And just look at the level of aggression that a casino all the way in Vegas has to put someone that normally goes there and consistently gambles and has a relationship with the casinos. This is the ugly side that we don't get to see from when the various sports leagues are over advertising and tell their audience to mess with the sports books.
I'm confused at this point. I'm like, whatever it is, it don't require this right here. You can let me walk out this motherfucker. No bullshit. I could keep it moving forward. You know what I'm saying? And we can figure out whatever it is here at this airport right now. You know what I'm saying? And little do I know how it was going to go. And when they put me in the shot and they put me in the car, they really had no idea. You know what I mean? They were just following the order. Protocol. Right. So now I'm confused because now it's nobody to talk to. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm like, God damn, I got to get to bro. So he can, you know what I'm saying, figure out whatever the problem happened. So my mind, and you know, we laugh and we talk about it, but it's like serious in my mind. I've never been to jail. I don't even know the situation. I don't even know what happens when you get to the door. Right. Like, I don't even know. So when I get there, they telling me, take all my shit off. Put me in a holding cell. Handle this shit like men. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't commit no crimes now, not knowingly that. So they say, you know what I'm saying? That's what that is. I'm like, let's handle this. No, I went through the entire process. Like it was take everything off, get the flip flops that I couldn't fit,
Right.
put the joint on that I couldn't fit. So now in my head, I'm like, this gonna look crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm walking through this thing, it's gonna look crazy. So it's not funny. I'm like, come on, we at some point, like this shit gotta be all right, yeah, we going too far now. You feel what I'm saying?
And how was it when you was sitting? I remember you called me. You was talking to me for 50 minutes in the middle of the joint. How was that? Little
Hey man, it was different, but it was crazy because, like I said, they all had to go in when I was able to come out.
Right.
So now, you know, if I'm out and I'm on the phone with you, I turn around, everybody in their cell at the window,
Right.
looking like, yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Just like really trying to engage and being like, you know what I mean? And me coming from where we come from, I don't look at people like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at you as a man. What's up?
Been in
like,
jail.
y'all
Like,
good?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Tell us just hear your story or where you from and shit. And I thought it was funny, but the craziest part, I'm on the this shit I see on TV.
Right.
I'm really on a jail call with my brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about here? And it's like, and everybody watching me, and I know in their mind, they probably like, I know that nigga. I know his head all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. His head had to have been all over the place because at the same time, when you look at the casinos that he owed money to, the Wynn and the MGM Grand, they have business relationships with the NBA. So they definitely should have gave the league the heads up to avoid headlines like this when you have situations like DeJounte Porter and Malik Beasley lingering over the league. This headline right here was completely avoidable in a month where the NBA has numerous stories lingering around with players being in debt and also being linked to sort of fixing prop bets.
He told us he was about to go to Bahamas. His old lady went to Morocco, and he in a blink of an eye. And when I come out and I think about it, I was like, damn, that was a crazy jump.
And I know you didn't eat. What the fuck was they giving you? Like, what was the joint looking like?
I didn't heard so many stories, watch so many TV, so I just knew it was bullshit. Like I ain't even engage in it.
Shit.
They came with I don't even open my nah, I don't want it. But I asked for water. I was like, can I just get some water? It was like, we don't have water.
Damn, that's some inhumane shit. We don't have water. That is wild, but that is not shocking. Myself, I don't have any jail experience, thank God, but I remember in Brooklyn, there was a jail on 3rd Avenue in Sunset Park during the winter months when NYC is normally around at night 10 degrees to 0. The same jail that they held P. Diddy in, they did not have heat for over 4 months during that winter. So inhumane conditions is nothing new, but damn, having no water, that's some next level shit.
And when they said that, I was throwed off. I'm like, you don't have water, you don't got the little penny content, like you don't got. They like, we don't have water. She took a cup, tossed the cup in the cell, and said you could use the sink.
Damn, my man got to use that pissy ass sink where motherfuckers is probably shitting, spitting. They're using it as an ashtray for cigarettes. Who knows what the fuck is going on? Blood, all kinds of shit is in there.
Rust stains, shit stains, piss stains. There's no toilet seat. It's just the toilet.
Right.
I'm just like,
God damn, even the fucking toilet is naked. I'm surprised that shit just wasn't a hole.
No toilet seat. It's just the toilet.
Right.
I'm just like, damn, I can't even drink water. So the entire time, that 51 hours, I ain't eat nothing or I ain't drink. No, matter of fact, I had a bag of chips. Shout out to the homie that came to the cell and was like, bro, I see you didn't eat nothing. You know, here go a bag of chips. And this shit might sound like a move, but he really did that. And I was like, damn. So when I left out,
man, you being in jail, that shit was a play. He was hoping that you was gonna bless him on the other end. Cause at the end of the day, to him, you NBA.
Shout out to the homie that came to the cell and was like, bro, I see you didn't eat nothing. You know, here go a bag of chips. And this shit might sound like a move, but he really did that. And I was like, damn. So when I left out, I told you when I left out, I got his information and said, you know, I'm gonna bless him. I think he got set like 5 years or something like that. I don't know what he did. I'm not putting his information out there. But you know what I mean, that was a blessing. That was the first time I actually ate, man. That shit was smooth.
And he was conversating, man. He was talking to you.
Yeah, man, keeping me up because I had to ask that nigga what time it was probably 100 times. Yo, what time is it? What time is it, bro? So I'll be out here in a second. What time is it? Was it 2 hours?
Now they kept him in there for 2 days, and the fact that he's a high-profile star, they had to keep an eye on him, not only for his safety around others, but also himself, as that is the protocol.
Couldn't have been 2 hours, you feel what I'm saying? But, you know, shout out to Cuz for definitely throwing me them chips, and I'm definitely gonna bless you, bro.
So the last joint I want to ask you was, how did you feel when they came to you? It was like, you getting out this joint, even though you knew it was coming soon.
Yeah.
You just ain't know when.
Let me tell you, I don't know what time it is on the clock, but I packed it in to where I was gonna have to stay another day,
right?
Because I don't understand jail, so I'm thinking about jail as banks.
Right.
Bank closed at 5. Unless you
Yeah,
made that wire on the other side. I'm
Later.
thinking about Vegas time. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, it's 6 o'clock. The second I crossed my legs and put the cover over my head, she made a call. I heard it on the loudspeaker. Morris, you good? You free to go? Step up. I go to step. A dog that just told me, that gave me the chips, was still around that same time. Yo, they said you can get out. Mind you, I'm not even supposed to walk on the block with them. They disregarded that. Opened the cell door. I ran out that joint. Got to the thing. Got the couple cuz information, guys information, and then I'm walking through the jail, and it's not funny, but like niggas was clapping.
Damn, on some Green Mile shit. On some Green Mile shit. This sounds like a fucking movie.
Knocking on the joint, you know what I'm saying? Like they just let me home.
I'm like this sitting in that joint looking crazy,
This is crazy.
Shout out to Jels, man, for showing the love,
man.
though. That's real.
But man, listen, that ain't a place for nobody, bro. If you can stay out of that joint, man, I highly advise it. Seriously,
out that joint.
Seriously.
So for the people that don't know, and it's not funny because it's court, but for the people that don't know, we knew you wasn't getting a bond already. We already knew the situation. So, I mean, everybody was putting it out like, oh, they not letting him out. We already knew the situation.
Yeah, it was hey.
So it was a little funny in the courtroom when it happened, because again, like, court is not funny. Joe ain't funny, but it was a little shit that was going on in there that
transpired. That was different, right?
You know, during that bond hearing, I don't know why they had him in shackles. I didn't understand that. You wouldn't know his name is Marcus Morris. You would think his name is Marcus Manson, the way they had him tied up.
Exactly. You know, talking to the lawyers, they told me exactly what needed to happen.
Right.
Obviously, you know, I twin shit. I was able to, okay, bet.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is going to move regardless of the bond or what was going to happen or what she was saying. You know what I mean? I honestly didn't want to bond because I ain't going to have to pay him twice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, to be honest, but when, you know, I knew that was happening, I knew I was about to get out, you know, it was a little bit more easier. But the part that threw me the fuck off was one of my homies was in there. You know what I mean, showing love and supporting and showing up. Yeah. And she was saying, don't talk to him. You know what I'm saying? So as he walking out, you know, he got to say his 2-3 words, and nigga almost got me 10 extra days in jail.
What he said?
Well, he told me, hold your head. I'm about to get out.
He told me, hold your head.
Hey man,
took him down.
Gave me 10 days for that shit.
Took him down for that shit. Right?
It's not funny.
Crazy.
It's not funny, but at the time, because I knew I was about to get out, it made me go back to the cell and make it a little easier. This nigga don't even, you know what I'm saying? You could tell we never been in here. We don't do this type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Those institutionalized motherfuckers knew it right away that they ain't never been in jail. But once again, the Morris brothers, their image on the court was them being tough guys. But unfortunately for a lot of celebrities or people with notoriety, outside of that television perspective, sometimes outside people struggle to tell the difference.
You know, that was another funny time. That was you know what I mean? It was like, I can say this, like, I don't put it on anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to talk about jail. I'm not going to talk about what people do. I'm not going to talk about that. Seeing what I seen, I won't put it on anybody. So this is my message to any of the youth that watches, or any of the athletes, or any of the young men. Jail's not the place, like, and I'm so serious about it. It's not the place. But and they supposed to treat me good,
right?
So they say. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, they're supposed to treat him good. They didn't even have fucking water for him. They told him get it from the pissy ass sink.
So get back to it. I'm gonna skim through this fast. My first 24 hours, they put me in a psych ward. All right, you know what I'm saying? With the lights on for 24 hours, nothing to drink, no sheets, no towels, no face wash, even though I wouldn't have washed my face with the sink anyway.
Damn, Marcus Morris had to wash his face in that dirty ass sink. Man, that water must have had COVID in it. Fuck.
But just the fact, because they said high profile characters, they got to keep an eye on to make sure they don't do nothing to themselves.
Right.
So my whole 24 hours, the first 24 hours, when I got in there like 3:30 on Sunday, that whole time I'm sitting in the cell until I got out early Monday to go to court to find out that we couldn't talk to Vegas till Tuesday, which you didn't even know, and you calling me thinking you about to handle it, and in the back of my mind, I'm already knowing I'm sitting till Tuesday, because they're not even gonna get on the phone with us. The guys in there telling me exactly what was gonna happen. So from 3:30 until 3:30 the next day, when they took me back, I was in the psych ward the whole time, just with the lights on too. I couldn't even during night, 5:30 a.m. the lights is on, like beaming. They come in every 3 hours checking on me. You good, Mr. Myers? I'm looking. Am I good? I ain't gonna
about to be in Vegas,
but am I?
Now those officers ain't got no water, but they're asking him if he's good. That's crazy. 2 days in that jail and they ain't got no fresh water, and they're gonna ask him if he's good.
Am I good? I ain't
was
gonna
about
do
to be in
myself,
Vegas,
but am I good?
I should be in Bahamas.
You don't even know how life just changed for me. Something
That's crazy.
I didn't commit, or something that I didn't feel like it was a crime. This is just fun for me. Like, this is fun times. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just to look at it from there, and then, I went to, protective custody, and I'm gonna speak on this, and I'm gonna make it clear. It wasn't fun, man, but it was some good men in there that made that little other 20 hours, and you can laugh and say I wasn't in there that long. I was in there for 51 hours. And every second and every minute I thought
like
about
an hour.
and I know my family was in there with me, and that's the part where it was like hurting me, because I'm like, damn, I know they can't move on. I know they can't sleep. I know they can't do nothing. I know they can't stop thinking. You know what I'm saying? Because something that we built, and we knew that we couldn't let nobody take that
nothing
away,
can take that away from her, or even put on your
all that
name,
weird
bullshit.
And that was the part. But again, man, it was, I was in PC, so I wasn't able to physically be around the guys, but they was coming to my cell, they was talking to me, you know what I'm saying, and it actually helped me for the time I was there, just having the conversation, being able to talk to you, and I didn't eat the entire time, I didn't drink none the entire time, and I ended up getting out on a Tuesday at 6. They did whatever they did, and just to close this out, this is nothing to Vegas, and this is nothing for me to tell any athletes. You can't do what you like doing. What I'm telling you is just pay attention to what you're signing, and be careful. Even if you feel like you've been there for a lot of years, and you kind of, showed your credit and showed your worth in there, it doesn't matter. This is what's on paper, bullshit. And this is what they can do. So before you do that, or before you think it's cool to do it, just watch it and sign, you know what I'm saying? And if you need help gambling, you seek out somebody for game. This is not about needing help gambling. This is about something I like to do and that I was unaware of and that I should have took care of, because if I've known that was even a midget of a possibility on call when I took it out, it would have been done. You know what I'm saying? So,
damn, if that could happen to him, and he works for $1 billion company that has strong relations with those casinos, that could happen to anyone. It's crazy how no one behind the scenes in those casinos reached out to other behind the scenes people in the NBA and let them know that there was a warrant out for Morris's arrest. That symbiotic relationship between the league and the casinos, it needs to be on point, because they don't really want to have too many negative headlines. And as of late, those things keep piling up. We also got to wonder about the dynamics of owing them money, finding out now that they could put out a warrant for your arrest over just as little as $1,200. And of course, the NBA athletes have millions of dollars. We know they probably gambling $20K, $10K at a time, or even $100K. And now we're going to get more nuance to that exact dynamic, as former Boston Celtic NBA champion Big Baby Glenn Davis spoke on it when Killer Cam from Dipset had asked him, what was the stupidest thing you spent your money on?
What you think the stupidest thing you bought with your money?
Stupidest? I don't really think nothing I bought was stupid. I would just think gambling. 50,000.
Yeah.
20, 30.
Yeah, in one pot.
Yeah, like 100K. You gotta pay to Vegas 200K.
Gotcha.
That's wild.
Gotcha.
I think that's the wildest things I was doing.
Cool.
Now right there, he said it in jest, but he clearly took out a marker for 100K. And with some of the casinos, the repayment stipulations on that 100K would be an additional 100K back. But sometimes that's how they tend to get caught up in the bullshit. But Big Body Kendrick Perkins also spoke on this nuance, as he himself got caught up in this dynamic. You guys check it out, and every once in a while, I'll check in.
So let me say this. As a guy that used to be a big time gambler at casinos, like 4 or 5 years ago, I actually had an addiction in gambling. I actually went up to the casino and signed myself that I would never gamble again. Not that they made me, I did it, right? Like I did it. I was a blackjack type of guy. And what happens with these markers, when you take a marker out from the casino, is basically you're getting a marker and you have 30 days to pay the marker back. If you don't pay the marker back, then it's labeled as quote unquote fraud or you writing a bad check. Because when you go and you take the line of credit, you know that basically what they're saying is you knew that you didn't have the funds. And they recently, over the last 10 years, that they could charge you criminally. Now, I will say this, the casinos don't want to go that route with you unless they feel like you disrespected them. Disrespect meaning lack of communication, or you can call and say, you know what, hey, give me another 30 days and I'll pay the marker off, or give me 6 months and I'll pay the marker down.
Now, one thing with Marcus Morris, he did owe this debt for over a year. That's a dynamic him and his brother didn't get too much into the details of. But he did take out the line of credit from the MGM Grand in the Wynn Casino for over a year.
Until, or whatever. But if you ignored them, because
they don't come get you.
If you ignored them, they have a problem with you. Because I saw yesterday when he was actually in court, they released it yesterday or 2 days ago. And his lawyer, his attorney walked up and his attorney said, the wire has been sent. The judge still denied him bond. Like at that point, it was like, no. The money, send the money, cool, but we're trying to make an example because for however amount of period, we tried to contact Mr. Morris. We wanted not for this to get this far. And so that it did got this far, no, you're gonna sit down. And I mean, literally his lawyer was like, well, your attorney, your honor, you have this, you could grant him bond or whatever. And they was like, no, we're gonna, cause he's in Florida and they're gonna extradite him to Las Vegas. So at this point, they're just being assholes on purpose because they felt disrespected. Until the prosecution say, you know what, we'll dismiss this warrant. We got the money. We feel good now. We feel like he's learned his lesson type stuff. And now we'll dismiss this warrant. You don't even have to go to a hearing. Now he has a bond. But this is bigger than just the payment. And it's not fraud. So like people's like, oh, he committed fraud. It's not fraud. Like it was worded that way, but this is what happens when you have a casino debt. Take it from someone that actually had a casino debt. Like I know, and I know what gambling could do to you. Like, bro, you go to them fucking casinos and you sit there and all of a sudden you're like, hey, let me get a line of credit for $20,000. They give you $20,000 and you smoke the shit. Then you say, bring me $30,000 more. And then you're sitting there, you're gambling all day, and next thing you know, you're 100 bands in the hole and you walking out of there with the shit face. I'm telling you, I lived the shit, and I'm telling you, it wasn't nothing the casino said. I said, I'm done. Fuck this shit. Where do I sign? I don't even want to gamble no more. Real talk. It's real life, though. It's real life. People go through shit and shit happen. But when I saw it, I was like, oh, shit, they denied him bond? That means he was being very, very fucking disrespectful. To
your point, as someone, like you mentioned, went through it. His brother also, Markeith, had posted on Twitter a couple of days ago saying basically what you just said, Perk. The wording is crazy. Damn, for that amount of money, they'll embarrass you in an airport with your family. They got y'all thinking, bro did some fraud shit. They could have came to the crib for all that. When y'all hear the real story on this shit, man, all I can say is lesson learned.
Again, You don't go and write a check to the casino and tell them to hold it. That's just part of the terminology once you take out a line of credit. Once they file criminal charges, they take it as if you wrote a bad check, but you really did.
Hey, maybe Kendrick Perkins might be onto something right here. The casinos possibly could have a link to some of the PR headlines that Marcus Morris is currently getting. The wording is crazy, and it could be a shaming ritual to drag his name through the mud because they feel disrespected. But at the end of the day, they do have a lot of pull and reach. The Florida police did make the arrest at Fort Lauderdale International Airport, and they did deny him bond, and even to a point where they were willing to extradite him back to Nevada. So very mafioso from MGM Grand as well as the win. And this will be one of many headlines yet to come, as the NBA chose to lay in bed with the gambling companies. So any news, even something so minute when it comes to gambling involving any kind of NBA players or affiliations, the stories are not only going to blow up twice as much, but because of the media landscape right now where everyone's quick to put out a story, a lot of false narratives will come with it, and it could be an eyesore for the league.